Hey, welcome to Campsite Out of the Fire. This week we're going to be checking out blade making books this week. Felt like getting back into costume again for another day. So let's go through the books that I recommend getting. I think I've got another 9. But yeah, there's a bunch of technical books, there's a bunch of beginner ones, there is a mixture of technical knives, primitive knives, how-tos, all the way through to master blades, Damascus, and sorts and casting bits and pieces as well. So, alrighty. So, one of the good ones, the blade making book, Blades, Guides, and the Makers. This one's got a lot of modern technical methods. What actually shows you how to use the grinders, more grinding way. There is some forging parts in here. I do recommend checking those bits out. But it's also good step by step how to do Damascus, how to mount your handles, technical drawings and fittings. But yeah, all the way from the basics all the way through to the harder, more technical stuff. But I do check this one out if you're getting in. If you're making more Damascus or Japanese style blades, I recommend this one. Bladesmith with Murray Carter. He actually does the traditional way of making the iron from iron sand, and actually does step-by-step process of how to work and etch the blades all the way through, and designing techniques. Like, it's a good book for referencing the size of doing the Japanese blades. I do have a couple of Japanese sword making books here myself, but this one's actually got more references than the actual Japanese books that I've got. So this is a good book to actually check out and have a look at. Shows you how to do some of the how to do the sharpening and finishing and surfacing and all that properly. So definitely check this one out. Now I'm going into a book what is recommended for a very beginner. Is the $50 the $50 knife shop. It shows you what you can do with pretty much nothing. The $50 on here would more likely be $100 in Australia. This is American money, so it shows you how to do forge, how to use your hammer, how to do the hammer strokes, the grinding techniques, polishing, tempering. This is one of the reasons why I recommend this one for beginner knife makers, because it's actually got your temperatures, it's got how to do it, how to test it. It's also got how to fit your handles in here as well. So definitely worth checking this one out. Now I have to remember, this one's more Damascus if I remember rightly. This one's got a lot more technical knife making techniques that actually show you the sciences behind it. These ones are more the actual showing you how to do. So this one's, I'm trying to find it, it's basically all the stuff that like, I think the only reason I brought this book was actually because it had a treadle hammer pattern in here. But yeah, it gives you a lot of reference points at the beginning. Then a little bit further on, it gives you the references of knives, techniques. But yeah, this one's I believe mostly out of the blade making American, the blade magazines from America. Good book to reference if you can get your hands on. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It's got the fullers, the hammers in here, power hammer. Where is it? Main reason I brought was the treble techniques of sharpening. What's in here? I may have gone past it, but there's a pattern for a foot powered hammer. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. But this is the main reason why I brought this. Was I was planning on building one of these, and since then I'm actually now deciding that I'm actually going to make a power hammer. So, but yeah, definitely worth checking out. If you do for stock reduction and etching, I recommend this one. I found this in a second-hand bookstore about, what would it be, 12 years ago, and it was a well-loved book back then. I paid, I think, about $40 for it. It's an old library book, and it literally shows you, let's see, how to do your fittings, mounting, how to cut your blade out of with oxy, tempering, etching step by step. So this one I would recommend for everyone to get your hands on, just for the etching techniques within it. This one's also got some really good handy tips on how to mount handles, your wood and your antler. I do recommend checking this one out for that reason. But yeah, it's a good book. So step-by-step blacksmithing, and you can do it, with David Boy. Definitely worth grabbing that one. Now, coming into the more, this is a book series that I got here. The first one I'm going to go with is the Master Bladesmith, The Advanced Studies of Steel. These three books are Damascus books, based mostly on Damascus. There's also some leather work, jewel setting, casting. Basically, if it's in bladesmithing, it's in this. But it's all mostly hand done, is what I found with this. So it's got how to make your knives, your swords, jewellery fittings, handles. So yeah, it's worth checking this one out for just the jewel setting section in this one. But it's actually got your basic blade making, your Damascus as well. And so yeah, and it's also got your how to balance your blades, and I think this one or this one. I think this one's the one that's got the how to make your sheaths in it. Let's do a quick scan. Yep. This one's also got the grinding, how to do the hollow grinds, the etching for your Damascus, your lost wax casting, and there was one other thing, your sheath making. These three books are, you can just have one, but if you're going to get just one, I recommend getting this one. But all these three books will teach you the more finer bladesmithing styles. So I do recommend the Complete Black Bladesmith, Forging Your Way to Perfection. This one's, yeah, just as an all-rounder. But then you come into Pattern Welded Blades, the artistic form. This one shows you your Viking style, all your different types of Damascus, your samurai sword style as well. I haven't really read this one that much because I haven't been doing much Damascus, so because I just don't. But it does show you how to make nearly all your different styles of Damascus, so I do recommend that. So yeah, you can also find, like I said with the last video, is a book reference is always better than having an online video or just a website preference. You always want to make sure that you can find that piece of information correctly. This stuff is can be easily found by going to a local library. I found most of these ones in the library where I was from in Horsham back in 2000. So I brought these in the last 10 to 20 years, but it was worth me grabbing. But yeah, always double check your information online, because online most people don't need to get their online presence information double checked. They can just publicise it without actually sharing it. But by saying that, there's also a couple of master bladesmiths on YouTube that I recommend checking out. Yes, Alex Steele is one of them. He does show a way of trial and error with a lot of his way of making stuff. What is quite refreshing, because you don't normally get to that side of blacksmithing, bladesmithing shown on multimedia these days. Most of the time they want to show you the perfection. It's always good to see someone who is willing to show the mistakes. So I do recommend checking out Alex Steele. The other ones I would say would have been Man at Arms, but I think they've now changed. Ilya and Co have now moved over to, I think it's called That Works. Amazing master bladesmiths. I would recommend watching any of their tutorials on how to make. Any of their videos on how to make in general is worth watching. There is a lot of master bladesmiths out there on YouTube. There are actually more coming online in the last 12 months to 2 years than I have seen in the last 10 to 20 years. So it's really impressive to see all the masters come out and show their skills, because 20 years ago you would learn one style from a master and that's it, unless you had the knowledge from the books. Now they're offering it freely, so check them out. But always go through your internet. You never know what you might find. Sometimes you can go on Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, and you might find someone who's doing something slightly different and more interesting. So definitely check that out. If you like these kind of videos, let me know. I'm thinking about doing a leather and armour video one as well, so let me know in the comments. Like, comment and subscribe and share, and feel free to get in contact and have a chat. Also, I have an Etsy and a Ko-fi, so if you like, you can shout me a coffee, and I'll catch you next time.